happy to see you all. Hello everybody, welcome to my craft room. If you've been with me any time, you will notice that the scenery is a little different this time. I have changed around my craft room finally. Not everything's complete and I still need to clean the floor. It is nasty, but anyway, I am going to give you a tour of my craft room that I've been promising for a long time. So behind me is our lake. We call it Lock, Stock, and Barrel. My husband likes puns. And so I wanted something with a Scottish name to it. So it's Lock and then Stock and Barrel. And this is it's an 8 to 10 acre lake on our property. We've had this property for a little while before we started building our house. And then, you know, the lake came with it. So we were very fortunate there. We've worked a long time to get to this point. So here we are. And I thought, well, you know, let me show everybody the lake because at least you'll have some pretty scenery behind you besides a purple wall. Now you can have purple curtains. So we will look at my purple craft room. After I finish with this, then we'll look at my craft room. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this because sometimes I talk too much. And I jabber, and because I just like talking to you all, and I need to go ahead and jump into our whips. So I'm going to do a much better job with that today. All right, so I am going to start with, this is the fall. I'm in the Stitch Quarterly Club with Fat Quarter Shop. And so this is, you get 4 a year, and this is the 3rd one. And so this is called Fall is in the Air. Ooh, the lighting's kind of weird from this angle, so we'll see how it goes. So I love my little fox here. So that's Fall is in the Air. And this is the progress that I have made. Actually, let me see if I can insert a picture and show you my progress. I don't know which side I'm going to go to. Probably this one, this side will be a little bit better. So I lean, insert my picture here so you can see. Let me scoot my chair. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you can see what it looked like before. And now I will show you the progress that I have made on it. And here we are. And that's weird. I may have to start putting some stuff behind this because now, because of the window, we're seeing through the material. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so this is stitched on. Okay, I have the color. Where's my other thing? You think I'd be a little more organized? Okay, so it is 14 count platinum Ada. This color is platinum, so it's kind of a creamy golden color. So I am going to put these back in the bag as I go because I really don't want to have to clean up this mess. And I'm trying to find, well, now I can't find everything I'm looking for. And I hope I haven't lost some of my stuff. Of course, that would be me losing some of my stuff here. All right, well, whatever I've lost, I will look for it later. All right, I'm gonna set this over here so it's not like a total mess. Try not to let it be a total mess anyway. Okay, guess what I forgot to do? I jumped right into it. I was so anxious, like I'm going to do better. I'm going to jump right into it. And then I forgot to do the shout out to my YouTube channel. So let's back up. I will make it quick. Okay, so the YouTube channel that I'm spotlighting this time is embroidery.com cross stitch and hand embroidery. They do stitching challenges throughout the year. There are 3 that they do. Right now they're doing one's called Witchy Stitchy, And then in February, they'll do Love to Stitch, and then they'll do a summer one. And it's all to try to encourage people to stitch every day. So you have to show your progress, your before and after photos each day when you do. You have to stitch at least 30 minutes and do a session. You get 4 skip days, but it's more just an encouragement to get everyone to stitch. And for Witchy Stitchy and Love to Stitch, they have little needle minders that they give you, and they're really nice needle minders too. But they have a YouTube channel where Bonnet, who runs the shop, or I guess, well, they don't have, I don't think they have a physical shop anymore. It's mainly online. But she will do lives each Thursday. Right now she's doing it twice a week during the challenge, but normally it's on Thursdays, where she'll actually open up their Facebook page and she will talk about everybody's projects and make comments about what's going on. So it's really cool, because if you post consistently, your own project shows up there. So that's really neat to get that kind of affirmation. So if you are not currently a member of that group and you would like to check it out, I will put both the Facebook page link and the YouTube link down in the description box below. All right, was that fast enough? I'm trying very hard to jump into my whips and not jabber so much. And I really hope in my other videos it didn't seem like I was really jabbering a lot, although it seemed like it took a long time to get to my project. So I'm trying to do better with that. I really am. But I mean, what I had to say, I was trying to say things that you really want to know, and not just going on and on. But anyway, oops, I haven't even taken I've got needles going all over the place on this one, yikes. Okay, so this next one is called Pray More, Worry Less, and it's by Pine Mountain Designs, and the artwork is by Sandra Workman. And it comes with the pillow sham, and it has the 16 count Ada, which is there in the middle, and then you stitch on that Ada. So I will show you where I was before. Hopefully I can find this. This is contingent on me actually finding the photos that I took about a month ago. So, and then here's where I am, and you'll actually see you'll see the Witchy Stitchy 2021 needle minder that I won last year with this challenge. So here is where I am currently. So I've made a lot of progress. It's looking good. I'm very happy with it. And there's the little needle minder. Isn't it cute? It's really cool. And it's strong too. It's a very strong needle minder. So with this, what I plan on doing is I'm going to sew one end of it and then stuff the other end with fiber or polyfill, and then sew it up and make this itself the pillow instead of trying to find a pillow to put in there. They do have pillow forms that you can buy, and they ain't cheap. So Carla's going to stuff hers, and I have to give my friend Jennifer credit for that one. She's the one who suggested that I do that, since the pillow forms were so expensive. I wasn't even thinking to do that. And her YouTube channel is Stitching in the Bluegrass. And she runs the Litchfield. There are 2 stitching groups that I belong to, and one is in Litchfield, which is part of the Bluegrass Stitchers group. I guess, I don't know if she's going to rename it, because she moved away from where the original Bluegrass Stitchers group was. And then we have our E-Town group, Elizabethtown. We call it E-Town, but Elizabethtown group, which is called My Southern Porch. So I've always liked that title. Okay, so moving on. This one is, now let's see if I can find I bet I can't find my actual picture. Let me see, where's my picture? I gotta find the actual picture first. Oh yeah, okay, this is Time to Stitch a Serenity-ish Prayer by My Big Toe Designs, and this is the pattern. And it says, God grant me the ability to stitch the stash I have, to have the stash I want, and the time to stitch it all. It's coming. sooner than later, it's coming where I won't have to worry about some of the other things I have to worry about. This is stitched on 28 count raspberry Jobolon, and I have decided, because I've stitched on Lugana, and I like it, but I think I'm a Jobolon girl. It seems like when I get Jobolon, the material, the fabric is a little bit thicker, and just sturdier, and I don't know, I just like stitching on it a little bit better. I feel like it's just more fun to stitch on. But anyway, I've switched out all the colors, so I have a color conversion. They're very close to the original colors. The green that I'm using is Dempsey's Etoile, and so it gives it a little bit of a sparkle because it has a little silver filament in it. And then I used a variegated floss from Dempsey with just a more subtle variegation. Some of their floss, the variegation is not subtle at all. It's like in your face, ooh, we're changing colors, you know. But this is more of a subtle, so it kind of mimics what a hand dyed would be. So anyway, see if I can put a picture up of the progress. So I'm gonna try to be consistent with that. And then here is mine currently. Let me just a little bit. All right, there we go. So that's where I am currently. And I'm really happy with the way the letters are turning out. And I can't tell if, I don't know that the camera's doing it justice. But anyway, that's where I've gotten. And so this is going to be framed. Yeah, well, we'll see how long it takes me to frame it. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I don't feel like I'm very good at finishing other than putting things in frames, and I haven't been really creative, and I want to be. So I'm going to try very hard to do more finishes on my own, because I know that's the only way I'm going to get better at it is if I practice. So I gotta practice. So I'm going to get that finished as soon as it's done. And hopefully I can show you some FFOs soon. Okay, this one is, okay, now why? Okay, my needles are all getting stuck together because there's magnets all over the place. This is another one from the Stitch Quarterly Club. I had actually bought this one separately before I joined the club, just so I could see if I thought it was worth the money that you have to pay for it. And you actually end up paying less than what the actual market value is by several dollars. So if this is something that you enjoy and you like being surprised by the you know, the patterns and stuff that they have, then it's a good deal. So this is called Tea Time, and I just think it's all pretty. See, I want to learn how to finish like that. That's what I want to do. I know Priscilla and Chelsea from Stitching in the House, Stitching with the Stitching in the Housewives, Stitching with the Housewives. I don't watch their YouTube channel. I'm sure a lot of you probably do. They're very popular. But I probably should watch some of it just so I can get some finishing tips, because gee, that's where I need some help. I need somebody to give me some tutorials on finishing and different ways to finish. So I will put a photo up of where I was before. And then here I am. I may have to put something behind this. I may have to, I don't know. It's a thin material as well. Okay, so this is what I've got now. Let me see if I can, okay. That'll help a little bit. Okay, so that's where I am right now. I've made a lot of progress on that. And I'm having so much fun stitching this. It's a really cute little stitch. This is on 28 count mushroom Lugana. And the Lugana is, I mean, it's good fabric, but it's thinner. At least my experience has been that it's thinner than the Jobolon that I've worked with so far. Now that might change at some point, but so far that's been my experience. Okay, now this next one is a stamped cross stitch. It has been a long time since I've done stamped cross stitch, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. This is, it doesn't have a title to it. It's just a table runner / scarf, and it's from Jack Dempsey Needle Art. I bought this, I was in some, I forgot, there was some like department store that I was in a long time ago. Now I can't even remember the name of the department store. Oh, that's pathetic. But anyway, here's what it's supposed to look like. They're using 2 shades of blue. I am going to put this here in my craft room across my table. And so I am using 2 shades of purple. And right now I did one and I ran out. And then, of course, I forgot to get some this weekend. But it's DMC. It's not a hand-dyed, so I don't have to worry about whether they change dye lots or anything like that. If they change dye lots, you could end up with a very different color. So anytime that you do a project where you're doing hand-dyes, if you've never worked with hand-dyes, then you want to make sure that you've got enough to finish your project, if at all possible. If you work with hand-dyes, you know what I'm talking about. So I've gotten the border, okay? So I'm still working on this part of the border. You know, it's I can't pull it back all the way. Oh, there you go, maybe. Okay, so you can see I've got all this border down here. And then I started working on the other shade of purple, which you can't really see that well. I don't know, this window might not work out too well because it's shining through all my stuff. So now you can see the 2 shades there. Okay. I'm using 3 strands of floss. And the material is light, but it's still pretty sturdy. I think it would hold up to washing. I don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see. It's definitely going to get a good ironing, but like I said, we'll see. We will see. All right, there's that one. There goes my pen. Pardon me. Now it's going to, oh, my work's going to spread out all over the place. That's great. Okay, now this next one. These really aren't in any certain order, so I don't know why I'm trying to keep them in order. It doesn't matter anyway. As long as my goal is, and I need to count and see how many projects I actually have in my rotation now, but my goal is to work on each project 2 or 3 days every month, so that I'm rotating the projects once every month. I've gone through all of them. That's my goal anyway. So this one, it is, I want one project in my rotation to always be an ornament, because eventually, and I don't know where I'm going to put this tree. I may move some stuff around, but I really want just a small ornament tree. And I want to be able to put seasonal ornaments on there, not just Christmas. I want the tree up all year, and I want seasonal ornaments. So this is from Jan Lynn, and these are Christmas cupcake ornaments. And so she includes the floss and the Ada, and then there's some felt for backing here. They're really cute. So it's a set of 6. You get 6 patterns with it. The one I'm currently working on is this one. So there's that. And then I don't remember if I got started on this last month and I showed you, but if I did, we'll put it there. And then here is, let me put something behind it. And this is where I am right now. So it's cute, it's fun to do. And the challenge is going to be finding other small things for, maybe not Easter, I think you can find a lot of stuff for, but you know, things like St. Patrick's Day. You know, where are you going to find St. Patrick's Day ornaments is what I don't know. If I can find some smalls or just little, my goal is to find like little things, like maybe even like a little leprechaun hat. You know, that's what I'm looking at, because I don't want the ornaments to be more than 3 inches in diameter. That's my thing. Okay, so here's my other, I've got 3 stitch quarterlies going on here. This one is super fun to do. This one, all of the stitch quarterlies are Fat Quarter Shop, and it's So Emma. And this one is called Citrus Summer. I just think that is so cute. I love that. I love the lemons, and I love the jar, and I love the colors of it. And it's just freaking awesome. And this is being stitched with, oh, it's Dempsey. I've got one that's being stitched on with Cosmo floss. I haven't gotten to that one yet, but I will. But this is being stitched on 14 count fabric flare Ada, and it's I always forget the pattern name. What's the name of the pattern? Curved Tile is the name of the pattern. It's fabric flare. So here's where I was before, and here is where I am now. All right, let me roll it down a little bit. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't awkward at all. All right, here we go. That's kind of, the lighting makes it kind of weird, but yeah. It's hard to see that. Yeah, there we go. I don't know. We'll see if the window works out. Maybe this will be enough for you, because the lighting for the projects it's kind of weird. But you can see the pattern on the fabric. It's really cool. Kimberly Jolly, who runs the Fat Quarter Shop, said every time she stitches on the fabric flare, the pattern kind of fades in a way. So far, I have not found that to be the case on this particular one, which is really cool, because I would really like for it to show up. Okay, now, next one is, oh yeah, this one is being stitched with Cosmo floss. Cosmo is very similar to DMC. It's just as color fast as DMC, except Cosmo is softer, and some of their colors are much more vibrant than DMC. So this is called Stitch-o-graphy, and it was designed in honor of World Cross Stitch Day 2021. It's a Fat Quarter Shop exclusive, and this is what it looks like. And it just has all kinds of cross stitch things. Another thing, I mean, a lot of these things are going to go in my craft room. So there might be a few that actually go out into what my husband and I call the public areas of the house, like the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the things that we both share. If we want to put something up, then we have to check with the other person to see if they're okay with it too, which I think is only fair. So normally both of us will approve it, unless we're just like, I don't know. So here are this is the Cosmo floss. Oops. No, see, these colors are really, they're very pretty, and it's very soft. I like stitching with it. I don't think that I love it so much that I would completely switch to Cosmo over DMC, because Cosmo is much more expensive. It's probably at least twice as expensive as DMC, because DMC, you can still, you're still getting a skein of floss for under $1. Cosmo, we're looking at $2 and something a skein a lot of times, and especially for your hand dyed, because they are dyed by hand. you're looking at anywhere from like $250 to $350 for one skein of floss. Now, some of it is like they're 8 yards instead of 5. Okay. To me, honestly, if it's going to have to be some really nice floss, I'm going to have to really like it in order for it. Oh, it has 3 extra yards. That isn't necessarily going to justify to me paying that much more, especially if I don't care for it or if I don't think it's that different. So anyway, there's that. Now I like the Cosmo. I don't have anything against it except it's a little pricey. So here's where I was before. And on any of these, if I say that and then I don't have a picture, you know, if something doesn't show up, then you'll know. I just couldn't find a picture for it. So here's where I am now. Made some good progress there. I had to correct this over here. I was just stitching my little heart out and I spelled it S-T-I-C-H. And what makes it even funnier is that I teach language arts for a living. It's one of the subjects I teach anyway. And I misspelled stitch. So I've corrected that. After I had already posted it on Facebook. So, and if you are also a teacher, I hope you find that hilarious. Okay, this next one, I got 2 more. Okay, so this one is my Barn Sweet, excuse me, itchy. This is my Barn Sweet Barn Sal. And what they did was they took a pattern called Flea Market Baskets, which is by Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet Company. And it's So Emma, the two together. So this is the, they've got it tilted. Let me turn it this way. Okay, so this is the whole pattern for Flea Market Baskets. And I do plan on stitching that whole thing one day. But this star in the middle is what we're stitching every month. And we're changing the colors for each month for the Barn Sweet Barn. And so I have started, I've got January and February done. I've started on March and it's October. But I told myself, I said, you know, we're not going to get in any hurry. And I'm going to redo the finish I did on my January. I still haven't done that, but I still don't like it. So I'm going to redo it. Let's see, I've lost one color, I think. Where's my other color? I am losing stuff all over the place today. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh. So for March, of course, it is green. So let me show you the array of greens. There are 5 colors for each little star. And you know, I don't really care how long it takes me to get done with this, but I'm going to do all 12 months and it may take me a little while, and that's okay. I don't have, you know, 7 hours of the day to stitch, like maybe one day I will. But sorry, my nose keeps itching. These are, let me put them together here. These are the 5 colors that I am stitching with, these 5 shades of green. And they're all Dempsey colors. And I'm stitching all of these on 14 count fiddler's cloth, which is, it's also called oatmeal colored Aida. And so this, let me put this behind it. This is where I have gotten to so far on this star. I don't know if I started it before the last FlossTube or what, but anyway, here this is. That's where I am right now, currently. Here we go. And I've got one more, which is my big one. This is my Buster one, my Buster Keaton one. This is my full coverage. I would like to put another full coverage into the rotation once I find that the company I'm using for this one is Threadbare. And they do, I mean, their whole thing is you go online and you are converting photographs or drawings or whatever into cross stitch patterns. And so far the pattern looks really good, but I need to see if the stitching, like the conversion actually is going to look good, because if it's pixelated, it won't. Now, there was a lady in the embroidery.com group who told me that she also uses threadbare, and I saw pictures of her stuff. So they didn't have a way for you to, like, you couldn't max out a ton of colors. I did it as much as I could, as much as they would let me. But we'll see. So this is what it will look like in the end. This is Buster and Brown Eyes. This is a still shot taken from the silent film Go West. And Buster Keaton is my favorite actor. So that's that pattern. And right now I'm just doing the upper corner where you see the bars of wood. So you can't tell a lot now. I don't even have one page done yet. But this, I'll show you where I was before. I haven't made a lot of progress. I'm going to work on this a little bit more tonight, but this is currently what I have. And so far I'm happy with it. And I'm stitching this on 14 count white Aida. I'm doing 14 count this time. I did 18 count with my Michael Jackson piece. So I'm doing 14 count, which seems to be a little bit easier for me, but we'll see. Bring it up closer. When I get a page done, I'll be able to see whether that actually looks like wood. If it looks realistic to me, I'm going to keep going. And we'll see how many pages I can get into it. And if I decide that I'm happy, then I will go ahead and I will use threadbare to, I can't decide if I want to do, I want to do an Abraham Lincoln collage with 2 or 3 pictures of him to put into our Lincoln Days art show. So I want to do that, but I also want to do Lucille Ball. And hers would be real, I want a color picture of her. And I want, I don't know, I want a younger picture, either from the I Love Lucy days or right before, like when she was starring in all those movies and she was a contract player for MGM in the 1940s, like late 1930s, early 1940s. Because at the end of the 40s, excuse me, she basically stopped working for MGM and she had a radio show. So we'll see what I can find, but it's going to be colorful. There are some early color pictures of her, so we'll see. Okay. Okay. There is one that I'm going to start. I have not started. I have never done anything from stitching with the Housewives, nor stitching in the Housewives. I haven't done anything for them either. But I thought, okay, so this is my birthday month. My birthday was on the 6th, so it's already passed. But I thought, I've not done anything with October on it. And I really didn't, I would like to do a Halloween one at some point, but for my birthday, focusing on that, I didn't want to do anything Halloween. I wanted to do more of a fall look, even though fall is not my favorite season, y'all. It's fall, y'all. Seeing a lot of those signs out too. But, you know, spring is actually my favorite. But because my birthday is in October, I'm going to do this. And I've never stitched with Classic Color Works, but I am going to be stitching with Classic Color Works. So this will be my first foray into that. This pattern is called, it's actually a series that Priscilla and Chelsea are doing called Month to Month. And some of you might be doing that, where you actually have a bigger picture with the name of the month and some symbols of it. And then there's a smaller circular one that's about maybe 3 inches, something like that. I'm trying to say what size it is. It's a button. Oh yeah, 3 inches. The button is about 3 inches in diameter. And the finished size of this is a barn stitch. I don't know what they're calling it. It's a 9x6. What is the name of this thing? Did they name it? Oh, it's October Barn. I guess that's what it's called. But anyway, here it is. So there's that with the button, and I'm going to make some changes to it. So I like that because it doesn't really, it's not really Halloween-y, okay? I mean, you've got the birds there, but they're part of fall. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stitch it exactly the way it is, except, now, you see this little bird on this leaf? So I'm not going to stitch the bird. I'm going to, because my birthday's on the 6th, I am going to put a black number 6 sitting on the leaf. And I thought that would be really cute to put that in there for myself and stitch the little number 6. And I'll either find it, I've got a bunch of books that have alphabets and numbers in it. So I'm either going to find a 6 that's going to fit, or I will design that sucker myself because I can do a 6. So that little bird's going to be gone. I'm going to put a 6. So this will enter the rotation hopefully very soon. And so I have, there are 1, 2, 3, 4. I love their color names. And it looks like there are 4 colors in here. So not too bad. So this is Pumpkin Harvest, and hopefully you can see the variegation in there. These are hand dyed. So if you've never worked with hand dyed, if you have, this is old hat for you, or old hat. This, you're going to see, this is a very subtle variegation because it's dyed by hand. This is Black Coffee, which some you can see a little bit more than others. It's not a full black. You can see different shades where it almost looks like it's brown. This is Bean Sprout. And this is Hazelnut. Nice fall colors. So I'm very excited to stitch with Classic Colorworks for the first time. And I think I'm gonna, I'm gonna take these off and re-put them on here, but I'm gonna keep them on their cards so I can keep track of the colors a little better. So anyway, but that's, I am planning to start that very soon. And I'm very excited about that. So let me get the floss back in here so I don't lose it. Like I feel like I've been losing everything today. Oops. I think this just kept it stiff, but oh, they're advertising it. Okay. But anyway, let me slide that back in. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And now I'm going to show you my Stash Star. My Stash Star, I bought this at the Silver Needle several years ago. I haven't stitched him yet, but there's another one actually I want to stitch. This is from Carriage House Samplings. Carriage House Samplings they do seem like a lot of primitive designs. I'm not really a primitive stitcher. I appreciate the work. I think I've said this before, because that's where we started with those kinds of designs. And we had a very limited amount of colors and limited amounts of fabrics and fabric types and colors. So I have a great appreciation for where we started. But I would like to do some just to pay homage to this craft, if nothing else. But this is, I bought this because it's Lincoln. Lincoln, of course, he's our homeboy. And I share the same hometown as he does, Hodgenville. So, you know, I want to do something with him. And I also bought one of his house in Illinois. But this says, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And that's where it stops. And then it says 1863. And all of those letters form his hat. So this is that. And hopefully I will get this stitched at some point. And it's, there are actually, you wouldn't believe it, but there are several colors in here. It looks like it's pretty limited, but if you look closely, you can see a bunch of colors that are actually in there. And the stitch size, like if you did it on a 14 count, it'd be like an 8 by 15. So pretty decent size there. Small is like if you did it on a 20 or 40 count, it'd be like a 5 by 10. So that's still, it's still going to be kind of big. But anyway, there's our stash star. And then crazy craft tip for today. So our crazy craft tip is, when you are getting ready to start a project, you'll want to make sure you plan it out. It is so tempting to just jump in there. I gotta jump in there, you know, and I'm guilty of that too. But like with Buster, boy, I wanted to start on that so badly. And I said, no, you're going to look through all the colors, make sure you have at least enough of each color as you can. Make sure you got all those ready. You're going to put them all on floss drops. That took a little bit. And you are going to make sure you've got the right size fabric, and then, you know, all that prep work, measuring, making sure you're starting in the right spot, especially if you're not starting in the middle, which I don't like to start in the middle. That's just me. I prefer to start in the upper left-hand corner, regardless of what the project is, because I don't like trying to go down and then up and a lot of people prefer to start in the middle. And in fact, that's how a lot of, if you buy patterns, they teach you to start in the middle. I find my middle and then I go up and over to the left. So if you don't want to start in the middle, and if you've never tried it before, find where the middle is and then you count your stitches up and then over to the left. I typically count that about 4 or 5 times to make absolutely sure I've got my needle in the right square, in the right stitch, thread, whatever you want to call it. So it will pay off if you take a breath and take the time and just try to enjoy the process of just preparing. I know we all want to get to the stitching, but just to prepare, because you will thank yourself later as you're stitching it and you've got all your stuff right there and you can just keep going. Okay, so that's my crazy craft tip for the day. I am trying to do tutorials like every other video now, trying to do tutorials and trying to upload a little more frequently. I'm going to do my best to do that unless there's some craziness going on, which being a teacher, a lot of times there's crazy stuff going on and it's just busyness, and trying to, you know, slow that down and put some things in perspective. So that's what I'm working with right now. So anyway, that's what we've got. And if you enjoyed your time, your visit in my craft room, I would greatly appreciate it if you would hit that like button and hit the subscribe button so we can get to 400. I would love to get to 400 and we'll do a giveaway at that point if we can get to that. But I do very much appreciate all of you for being here, because you are choosing to spend your time with me and choosing to look at my work and listen to what I have to say. And I just really, really appreciate that, because I watch YouTube as well. I'm watching all these floss tubes, and so I know the commitment that takes. And, you know, when you're sitting there stitching, if you're listening, you know, you're going to choose to listen to people that you want to listen to. And so I just want you to know how much I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you all. And if you've got suggestions for me, if you've got certain tutorials that you would like to see, if there's something you want to learn how to do, or you're not sure how to do something, please, please feel free to put that in the comments below. I have had some people ask me questions about things, and I love being able to share my knowledge with you, and I love learning from you too. Several of you have sent me comments to give me some tips and some ideas for things that I could do a little bit better. You know, well, why don't you try this? This might work a little better for you. So I really appreciate that. And that's what this is all about. This is a wonderful community, and I appreciate your being a part of my little circle of influence there. So I hope that you have enjoyed the lake today, and it's getting darker as we speak. It's getting dark earlier now. No, be creative, be very blessed, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody. Hello again. So as promised, here is a tour of my craft room. And so this is my empty wall. I've actually moved some things around. So I had hoops up here and Q-snaps, but I've moved that around. And as I was removing command strips, can you see that? Oh, I was so mad. It had gotten stuck. And then the bottom part broke off that you're supposed to pull down and pull it off the wall cleanly. And of course it didn't come off cleanly. So looks like I'm going to have to tear off that little piece that's left and take it into Home Depot or somewhere and get them to match the paint so that I can touch that up. So that made me mad. But here on the floor, there's Michael sitting there. I'm going to put him up soon. But I have, I've just put some of my finishing supplies here. I bought several of these canvas boards, and I'm going to stretch some of my cross stitch over that. And then I have to, my makeup one here, I have to put, I left it in the floor like this because those pearls are falling off and the sticky stuff on the back is getting on the floor, and that's not good. So I'm going to have to go through it and take off all of those pearls and glue on pearls. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet, if I'm going to cover it up completely like this or do it differently. But then I've just got some, just some different finishing supplies there. I do have some stuff up, like this is I call her my Victorian lady. This is from, let's see, which company did this? Dimensions. It's called Summer Stroll. I did this many years ago. Like, man, we're talking, I think I finished this in 2004. Okay, so we're talking quite a while here. And this is my little home sweet home. I did this and that. I did that finish. So it's like, if you can do that, you can do other finishes. And so here's, this is, if I back up, you can see the bead area there in my very dirty floor. I left the table like this because I wanted you to see this is my setup. This is where I record my videos, except today, of course, I had the lake behind me. Normally, my seat is over like in this area. So this is my stand right here that I use, and I put the camera in here. And then there's my little, it wasn't a very expensive microphone, but it definitely helps. It's not hooked up now, but you can see I've got my notes down here, and there's Lincoln that I just showed you. And these are some things I need to just put up. And then this is the bag I leave all of my projects in the bag. But as I was showing you, then there they are. So I'm going to put those up. And then there's the lake. And our trees are looking really pretty right now. So my purple curtains. And because this almost looks like a little girl's room too, I love stuffed animals. I always will. I will be 90 years old and love stuffed animals. So this is my little Cheer Bear, was my favorite Care Bear. So that dates me a little bit because the Care Bears were very popular when I was young. Not a baby, but young. And then I've got a little purple rabbit over here. And she's watching my stuff for me. So I love her. I didn't realize how well she matches the curtains. And then I've got a clock up here, and no, it's not almost 9 o'clock. I need to change the battery, but I got my little clock up there, and the ticking can get very loud. Here's my Old Irish Blessing. I finished that too. It's probably not the best finish, but it wasn't too shabby for Carla. There are more trees out there. And so on this side of the wall, it's just a little whatnot shelf that I've got. So I put those shelves up and then just wanted stuff up there. And found this doll at, we have a flea market that's, probably about 30 or 40 miles from here. And so every once in a while we'll go. And I saw her one time and she was at such a good price and she was so pretty. So I got her. And then you see bugs in the windowsill that I have to clean out. It's our side yard. And then if I back up, this is the chair that sometimes I'll sit in to stitch. This is my rocking chair that I had in the living room at the old house. And it's not in the best shape, but I've had that for probably, yeah, it's probably been about 19 years. I think I bought it in 2003, that set. And then this doll, she still has a tag on there, and I'm leaving that tag on there because this was my grandmother's doll, and she gave that doll to me maybe a year or two before she passed away. She passed away at the age of 95. So I'm hanging on to that, and I'm leaving that tag on there. Now, this is my closet. Now, is that organized or what? So I'm going to have to go. I still have to clean this out, and my intention, you see this scarf hanger, well, not scarf hanger, this is a belt hanger, but I've got some scarf hangers too that will go on here, and I'll probably put some more up there too, and that's where I'm going to hang all of my floss. So I want to reorganize this where I can actually store stuff, which is why I wanted the closet in the first place. And then over here, this is Storage Central. So this is where I have, these are all of the different magazines, craft books, then some pictures. This is my grandmother. This was probably taken, I was probably in my early 20s there. And this is the grandmother who lived to 95. And my dad gave me those pictures, so I leave those up there. And then I've just got some hodgepodge things down here and some more books. And then this is where I'm also, now this will be moved, but I'm storing a lot of my fabric here, my Ada especially. And these hoops will go up on the wall. So I'm making my wall of hoops and Q-snaps because if you hang them up, it also becomes a design element. And then my husband drilled holes in this magnetic board, and then I put this, purple ribbon on there. And this is where any needle minder that I am not currently using in a project will go on this board. And so here are some of my needle minders. And I'm just collecting them. I want to collect needle minders anyway. And there's my Love to Stitch 2021. And then I have some beads and some buttons and things. And all these drawers, like this is floss that I'm getting ready to put. I'm putting them all on floss drops. And I've got some extra fabric in here, like even weave and that kind of thing. This is like a cheapo set there. It won't close very well. Storing my ribbon here, and my husband made these dowels and put these hooks in there, and so I'm storing my ribbon that way. And then just some different ways to finish stuff if I get brave enough to do it. And then more finishing stuff, and I need to organize those a little bit better. So here's some project bags, and I've got some command hooks and things in there. And then this is more like, now it's getting caught in there. This is some quilting stuff that I have, as well as my hole punches. And so I still want to dabble in some quilting, but we'll see how that goes. And this is boxes that have more patterns in them, and more patterns, and more, and some materials. So you will see some of that. Whoop, didn't mean to go that fast. You will see some of that as I do more of the videos. So there you have it. So there she is. that is my craft room. So I hope that you have enjoyed visiting my room and then seeing my recording setup. You see how sophisticated it is. So I hope that you all enjoy stitching. Happy stitching, and I will see you